Good morning, children. Do you remember how to determine the divisibility of numbers by 2, by 3, by 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 or 11, which we had discussed in the previous session? Based on that, today we are going to solve the problems of exercise 3.3. I hope you all have a pen and notebook in your hands so that you can also solve the problems. Let's see what is the first question. Using divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 2, by 3, by 4, by 5, by 6, by 8, by 9, by 10, by 11. And you have to write yes or no in the columns provided against each number. Alright, and you have to solve the problems in rough notebook or in rough column and write the answers yes or no in the columns. Let's see how we do that. Let's take the first example, 128. Its divisibility we have to check by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So let's check first its divisibility by 2. So divisibility by 2, what is the rule? The digit in ones place, the number should be even, that means the digit in ones place should be divisible by 2. Alright, so here in the number 128, 8 is there in ones place, so the number is divisible by 2 because it is 8 is divisible by 2, so the number is also divisible by 2. Now divisibility by 3, what is the rule? If the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number is also divisible by 3. Let's find the sum of the digits, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 11, and 11 is not divisible by 3. So the number is also not divisible by 3. Now let's check the divisibility by 4. So what is the rule? If the number formed by last two digits of a number, that means the digits in ones place and tens place, if the number formed by these digits is divisible by 4, then the number is also divisible by 4. Now in the number 128, we have 8 in ones place and 2 in tens place, and the number formed is 28. And we all know that 28 is divisible by 4, isn't it? 7 times is 28, isn't it? So the number 108 is also divisible by 4. Now what is the divisibility rule for 5? If the number has 0 or 5 in ones place, then the number is divisible by 5. But here we can say we can see that in 128, 8 is there in ones place, it's neither 0 nor 5, so the number is not divisible by 5. Now divisibility by 6. What is the rule? If a number is divisible by 2 and 3 both, then only it is divisible by 6. And we have checked that this number 128 is divisible by 2, but it is not divisible by 3. So it is not divisible by 6 also. And divisibility by 8. What is the rule? How do we test a divisibility by 8? It is applicable to the numbers which are formed of 4 digits or more number of digits. But here in this number 128 is formed of 3 digits, isn't it? So we have to check its divisibility by 8 by actual division. Alright. So let's see this 128, whether it is divisible by 8. You can check by actual division, isn't it? 8 once is 8 and 12 minus 8 is 4, and then we take 8 here and this becomes 48, and 8 6 times is 48. So, the number is completely divisible by 8, it is 16, isn't it? So, the quotient becomes 16 and the number is completely divisible by 8. Now, divisibility by 9. What is the rule? If the sum of the digits is divisible by 9, then the number is also divisible by 9. So, what is the sum of the digits? 1 plus 2 plus 8 is 11, isn't it? And we know 11 is not divisible by 9. So, the number 128 is also not divisible by 9. Now, divisibility by 10. For a number to be divisible by 10, it should have 0 in ones place, but we can see that in 128, what digit we have in ones place? It is 8. So, it is not divisible by 10 also. Now, divisibility by 11. How do we test the divisibility by 11? We have to find the sum of the digits in odd places and the sum of digits in even places and find their difference. If the difference is 0 or a multiple of 11, then it is divisible by 11. So, let us check here the digits in odd places. What are the digits in odd places? These are 8 and 1, isn't it? So, their sum 8 plus 1 is 9. And what is the digit in even place? It is 2. Alright. So, the digit at even place is 2. And what is their difference? 9 minus 2 is 7. And we know 7 is not divisible by 11. So, the number 128 is also not divisible by 11. Now, let us take C, problem number C. The number is 1586. Let us check its divisibility by these numbers. Divisibility by 2. 1586 has 6 in ones place, isn't it? And 6 is divisible by 2. It is a multiple of 2. So, the number is an even number 1586 and it is divisible by 2. Now, divisibility by 3. Let us find the sum of the digits, that is 1 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6, which is 20. The sum is 20 and it is not divisible by 3. So, this number 1586 is not divisible by 3. Divisibility by 4. What is the rule? The number formed by the last two digits, that means the number formed by the digits in ones place and tens place, if it is divisible by 4, then the number is also divisible by 4. So, in this number 1586, the number formed by last two digits is 86, isn't it? The number formed is 86 and 86 is not divisible by 4. We can check this. 86, 4 2 times is 8. 8 minus 8 becomes 0. Then we take 6 here and 4 ones we can take. 4 ones are 4 and then 6 minus 4 is 2 and we get the remainder as 2. So, this number is not divisible by 4. 86 is not divisible by 4. So, the number is also not divisible by 4. Now, let us check the divisibility by 5. We can see in this number in ones place we do not have 0 or 5. So, the number is not divisible by 5. Divisibility by 6. This number we have checked earlier that it is divisible by 2, but it is not divisible by 3. And for the number to be divisible by 6, it should be divisible by both 2 and 3. So, this number is not divisible by 6 because it is not divisible by 3. Now, divisibility by 8. What is the rule? The number formed by the last 3 digits should be divisible by 8, then only the number will also be divisible by 8. And the number formed by last 3 digits in 1586 is 586. And we can check that 586 is not divisible by 8. Let's check this. 586, 8 7 times is 56, isn't it? And 58 minus 56 is 2. 5 minus 5 0. Then we take 6. The number becomes 26, and 8 3 times is 24, and 26 minus 24 is 2, isn't it? So, we cannot divide it further. So, the number is not completely divisible by 8. That means 1586 is also not divisible by 8. Now, divisibility by 9. We have to check the sum of the digits. And what is the sum of the digits? 1 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6 is 20, and 20 is not divisible by 9. So, the number 1586 is also not divisible by 9. And divisibility by 10, it should have 0 in ones place, but in this number we can see 6 is there in ones place. So, it is not divisible by 10. Let's check the divisibility by 11. We have to add the numbers in odd place, or add the digits in odd places and the digits in even places and find the difference. If the difference is 0 or 11, then 11 or multiple of 11, then the number is divisible by 11. So, what are the digits in odd places in this number? The digits in odd places are 6 and 5. So, by adding 6 and 5 we get 11. And what are the digits in even places? They are 8 and 1. So, 8 plus 1 is 9. Alright, and their difference is 11 minus 9, 2, and it is not divisible by 11. So, this number 1586 is also not divisible by 11. Now, we come to question number 2. Using divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 4 and by 8, by 4 and by 8. So, let us take the first example or first problem. We can solve a few problems in this session, and rest of the problems you can solve on your own. So, let us take the first problem. The number is 572. We have to check its divisibility by 4 and by 8. So, what is the rule for checking its divisibility by 4? The number formed by the last 2 digits should be divisible by 4. So, we can see the number formed by the last 2 digits here is 72, and 72 is divisible by 4. We can check this out. 72, if we divide by 4, 4 1 times we can take, 7 minus 4 becomes 3, and we can take 2, the number becomes 32, and we know 4 8 times is 32. So, it is completely divisible by 4, and the quotient is 18, isn't it? So, since 72 is divisible by 4, the number 572 is also divisible by 4. Now, let us check its divisibility by 8. We know that divisibility test of 8 is applicable only to the numbers formed by 4 digits or more number of digits, but 572 is a 3-digit number, isn't it? So, by actual division we have to check its divisibility by 8. So, we have solved it here. 572 dividing this number by 8. So, 8 7 times is 56. 57 minus 56 is 1, and we have taken 2 here, isn't it? We have taken 2, the number becomes 12, and 8 once becomes 8, 12 minus 8 becomes 4. So, the number is not divisible by 8. 572 is not divisible by 8. Let us take problem B. It is a large number, 7,26,352. We have to check its divisibility by 4 and by 8. So, we can apply the rule by 4. What is the rule? The number formed by the last 2 digits should be divisible by 4. So, 52, is it divisible by 4? Yes. We can check, isn't it? 52 divisible by 4, and it becomes 12. 5 minus 4 is 1, and we take 2 here, and 4 3 times 12. So, the question becomes 13, isn't it? So, the number is completely divisible by, exactly divisible by 4. So, the number 352 is also divisible by 4. Now, let us check the divisibility by 8. What is the method? The number formed by the last 3 digits should be divisible by 8. Then only the number will be divisible by 8. So, what is the number formed by the last 3 digits? It is 352, isn't it? And we can check whether 352 is divisible by 8 or not. We can take it here, 352 by 8, isn't it? It is 4 times 32, 35 minus 32, we get 3 here, and when we take 2, again it is 8 4 times is 32. So, this number is divisible, 352 is divisible by 8. So, the number 7,26,352 is also divisible by 8. Now, let us look at the problem C, 5,500. Now, children, whenever we have a number which has 2 zeros in its ones and tens place, then the number is divisible by 4. We should remember this rule, because 100 is completely exactly divisible by 4. So, any number which has 2 zeros in the end, or if the last 2 digits are 0, then the number is divisible by 4. So, this number has 2 zeros in ones and tens place. So, it is divisible by 4. Okay, and the number formed by the last 3 digits in this number 5,500, the number formed by the last 3 digits is 500, and for it to be divisible by 8, 500 should be divisible by 8, and when we check, 500 is not divisible by 8. You can check this out, 500 whether it is divisible by 8 or not. It is not divisible by 8. So, the number 5,500 is also not divisible by 8. Problem D, 6,000. We can see the number formed by the last 2 digits. There are 2 zeros in ones and tens place. So, as we have discussed, this number is divisible by 4 since it has 2 zeros as in ones and tens place. Also, we should keep in mind that a number is divisible by 8 if it has zeros in its ones, tens and hundreds place. That means 3 zeros in end. There is a reason for this, because 1000 is divisible by 8. So, any number which has 3 zeros in the end is also divisible by 8. So, this number is divisible by 4, 6000 is divisible by 4 as well as by 8. Children, with this problem we end this session. We will solve more problems in our coming sessions. Whatever problems which were not solved, please take them and solve them in your notebook. I'll meet you in my next session. Till then,